What is 21st century science? Is it a new method, a better model, or is it a deeper way of asking the question itself? The further we look, the stranger things become. So we pause, not to solve, but to reconsider. What are we really standing on? Let's find out. What did we inherit? Open quote. We inherited giants. Newton, Kepler, Einstein, Planck. They gave us formulas that worked. They gave us orbits, fields, atoms, light. Together, they built a system of astonishing reach. But brilliance can still miss the whole. We split space from probability, mass from motion. What we inherited explained much, but not how it all fits together. Relativity ruled the stars. Quantum theory mastered the small. But try to unite them, and the pieces refused to hold. One spoke geometry, the other chance. Gravity curved space-time. The electron tunneled through barriers, and somewhere in between, black holes, wave collapse, dark matter, the model wasn't failing. It was pointing to something beyond it. This is where relative gravity steps in, not to patch the old model, but to flip the frame. Here force is not applied, it's inherited. Mass is not fixed, it's a resonance phase. Gravity not a pull, but a harmonic exchange. Bodies interact like alternating currents, in time and rhythm and impedance. The universe is not built from pieces, it unfolds. Newton gave us clarity, inertia, acceleration, action and reaction. But it was a clockwork world, flat, external, and linear. Relative gravity lifts the veil. Inertia becomes resonance, echoed through time. Force becomes relation, arising from alignment. And reaction is no longer a bounce, but a spiral, a consequence of shared phase. Newton's laws still guide the cannonball, but relative gravity listens to the drum behind the motion. Kepler saw balance and symmetry, a seesaw in the heavens, masses and distances in simple ratio. But relative gravity sees a living exchange. M2 divided by D1 equals M1 divided by D2. Not a liver, but a field, where force is not just balance, but cancellation through phase. Kepler gave us orbits. Relative gravity gives us coherence. Einstein bent space-time, and space obeyed. Mass made geometry. Geometry made motion. But relative gravity goes further. It sees gravity not as shape, but as resonance. Two bodies don't just distort the field, they create it. Together, like alternating currents in perfect phase. Gravity is not a dent in space, it's a relationship sustained through rhythm and impedance. The evolution of singularity, Big Bang versus the emergence of form. In the Big Bang model, the singularity is abrupt, unfathomable density in a vanishing point, erupting into space, time, and all existence in a flash of inflation. It is an origin defined by its unknowability. The question it leaves unanswered, what came before? Relative gravity offers another view. The singularity isn't a rupture, but a resonance, a harmonic condition within dimensional time. There is no break from nothing, only coherence forming from chaos. Frequencies align, fields converge, and from their superposition, form emerges. The Big Bang begins with force. Relative gravity begins with relation. Where one traces time forward from an explosion, the other reveals time as a medium through which forms evolve. In relative gravity, a singularity is not a moment. It is a manifold, expressed and sustained through resonance. For over a century, physicists tried to unify the forces. Gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak. They added fields, curled dimensions, expanded groups, but relative gravity doesn't add. It starts with coherence. Mass, field, force, they're not different categories. They are phases of the same system. All emerge from dimensional resonance. So where does RG sit among unification theories? It doesn't. It dissolves the premise. Because the universe was never divided. Unification is not a goal, it's a given. What if gravity isn't a force that pulls, but a resonance that holds? Relative gravity begins there, where time is dimensional and force is not imposed but expressed. This essay lays the groundwork. Energy, mass, and motion are not separate actors, but variations of a deeper coherence. Particles don't collide to explain the universe. They harmonize. And in that harmony, we find the architecture of everything. Not through curvature or chance, but through pattern, inheritance, and phase. Theory is theory by design. Object-oriented design allows theory to be extendable. Orion Daley's revolutionary new theory of relative gravity explains, in an object-oriented way, how the universe is put together. The fundamental universe is viewed like a plasma of alternating currents. Symmetry is conserved through polymorphism of inherent properties. Given a wavelength of some deep time, symmetry in properties is not at the exclusion of randomness. As derivatives, the four known forces, the electrostrong and weak electromagnetism and gravity, are considered to share symmetry, where differentiated by their context. The relationship of dark and light matter is seen as that of impedance, where particles to galaxies, or any other body between, are first viewed as manifolds having common and inherent properties. Particles can have opposite charge, and harmonics of vectors for strings with wavelengths subject to distortion. Bodies are considered skewable and cumulative with respect to others within their context. Gravity is viewed as their fundamental relationship through superposition. Book for the Universe begins with a question older than time. How does something emerge from nothing? From that mystery, a framework unfolds. Energy, matter, and time, woven not as fragments, but as a living system. This book explores the delta phenomenon, relative gravity, and the harmonic mechanics behind creation and motion. It reimagines particles, black holes, galaxies, not as separate problems, but as coherent expressions of the same underlying rhythm. More than a theory, it's a vision, a cosmos where equilibrium is not imposed, it is inherited. Unravel the mysteries of existence with the Cookbook for the Universe, a groundbreaking work that reimagines the origins, mechanics, and harmony of our cosmos. Orion Karl Daley masterfully blends science, philosophy, and creativity, offering a profound synthesis that bridges 20th century theories with the paradigm of the 21st century. Embark on a journey through the interplay of energy, matter, and time, starting with the enigma of nothingness, ex nihilo. Explore how singularities, galaxies, and the intricate dance of forces weave the very fabric of existence. From the delta phenomenon to relative gravity, this book introduces innovative frameworks to unify the forces of creation, motion, and equilibrium. Dive into the mechanics of particles and radiative fields. Uncover the harmonic mean that unites celestial systems and universal cycles. Reimagine black holes, galaxies, and the laws of physics as part of a cohesive, interconnected cosmos. More than a scientific treatise, the Cookbook for the Universe is an invitation to imagine a cosmos where the rhythms of the universe harmonize infinitely with the principles of creation. Whether you're a scientist, philosopher, or seeker of knowledge, this bold and thought-provoking work offers a fresh perspective on the nature of reality and our place within it. Join the revolution in cosmic understanding and discover the interconnected nature of all existence. This is Collected Works Volume 1, The Architect, the beginning of relative gravity's long arc. Not a theory in isolation, but a foundational framework, one that blends science, structure, and coherence into a unified vision of the cosmos. This volume introduces the four laws of relative gravity: relative force, relative mass, relative equilibrium, and disposition. Together, they offer a new way to describe how the universe holds itself together, not through force alone, but through inherited resonance and dynamic relationship. It then moves into the delta phenomenon, the key to understanding how particles, galaxies, and even time itself evolve through steps of dimensional inheritance. Rather than focusing on isolated systems, the delta phenomenon shows how everything emerges from recursive coherence across scale. From there, the book explores field relationships and harmonic motion, delving into the rhythms that shape energy, mass, and structure. Here, energy is not just a quantity, it is a phase event, a harmonic. We examine the torque of galaxies, the impedance of dark matter, and the spiral forms that repeat across both particles and stars. These are not just observations, they are expressions of a deeper, inherited order. Finally, the book returns to the heart of inquiry itself. How do we listen to the universe? How do we recognize patterns not just as data, but as meaning? Volume 1, The Architect, is the blueprint. It is the scaffolding beneath relative gravity, the starting point for those who don't just want new answers, but want to ask better questions. Volume 1 of the collected works on relative gravity marks the beginning of a bold, 5-volume exploration into a revolutionary scientific framework. Developed from the pioneering works Relative Gravity and the Cookbook for the Universe, this volume assembles original research papers in their authentic form, preserving the exact language and conceptual integrity of the author's discoveries. Here, readers are introduced to the dimension of time as a foundational property of reality, the delta phenomenon as the mechanism of cosmic evolution, and the unifying principle of relative force, a concept that redefines the nature of gravity, energy, and mass. This work challenges the limitations of Newtonian gravity and Einstein's space-time curvature by proposing a dynamic, harmonic model of the universe, where forces evolve, resonate, and balance in continuous interplay. Intended for physicists, researchers, philosophers of science, and all who seek to understand the deeper architecture of the cosmos, Foundations of a New Paradigm offers more than theoretical innovation. It presents a coherent vision of reality that bridges the microcosmic and macrocosmic, linking the behavior of particles to the formation of galaxies. As the first step in a 5-volume series, this book establishes the essential groundwork for ideas to be expanded in later volumes, including the concept of spatial induction engines and new interpretations of black hole mechanics. For those prepared to reconsider the nature of space, time, and existence, this volume is an open gateway into the next frontier of scientific thought. Volume 2, Mechanisms and Phenomena, continues the exploration of relative gravity by diving into the functional architecture of the universe. Where Volume 1 laid the philosophical foundation of symmetry, resonance, and the manifold nature of time, this volume advances the discussion into dynamic systems, black holes, gravitational waves, harmonic manifolds, and the induction fields that shape galactic structures. Relative gravity proposes that force is not a static property, but an evolving expression of phase relationships across dimensional intervals. By reframing gravity, electromagnetism, and nuclear forces as contextual manifestations of a single relative force spectrum, this volume illuminates how the universe maintains coherence through harmonic regulation and impedance-based feedback. In these collected papers, the cosmos is no longer a cold, detached machine. It is a living manifold of frequencies, intersections, and self-resonant systems. Gravitational interactions are interpreted not merely through mass and motion, but through alternating current analogs, spatial induction engines, and phase-aligned manifolds. The idea of a singular origin gives way to a field of emergence, a universe where symmetry is conserved, yet evolution is inevitable. Looking ahead, Volume 3, Hypothetical Matter, will challenge conventional boundaries further by proposing new classes of matter rooted in pre-resonant states, harmonic shells, and dimensional inheritance. It will explore how the invisible scaffolding of the universe, often called dark matter, may in fact be a harmonic consequence of relative force, not an anomaly. This series invites not just speculation, but synthesis, connecting physics, cosmology, and philosophy in a way that redefines our understanding of space, time, and what it means to become. In the 21st century, the universe is not only expanding, it is revealing itself. Volume 3, Hypothetical Matter, the evolution of the particle. From harmonic fields to dimensional inheritance, Volume 3 expands the theory of relative gravity into the domain of particle evolution. Where previous volumes established the architecture of symmetry and force, this work focuses on how matter emerges, not as inert mass, but as dynamic resonance within space-time. What if particles weren't building blocks, but echoes? What if matter is not born from collision, but from coherence, its presence shaped by the rhythms it inherits from the fabric of space and time? In this model, a particle is not a fundamental object, but a harmonic event. Each step in its formation inherits coherence from the previous, building a layered structure of torque, frequency, and dimensional phase. Rather than seeking the smallest indivisible unit, hypothetical matter uncovers how particles evolve as expressions of spatial time, emergent and relational. The framework outlines 7 theoretical stages of particle evolution, each tracing the transformation from pre-resonant fields to coherent manifolds. These stages offer not only an alternative to reductionist views, but a foundation for defining new classes of matter, structured by harmonic shells, guided by impedance, and shaped by inherited resonance. This volume proposes that what we call dark matter may be neither exotic nor unknowable. Instead, it may be the harmonic scaffolding of the universe itself, a phase expression of relative force, invisible only because we've lacked the right lens to perceive it. Within this context, hypothetical matter is not fantasy. It is unacknowledged coherence. Hypothetical matter does not reject science. It is its next harmonic. Volume 3 continues the larger mission of relative gravity to synthesize physics, cosmology, and time into a coherent field of becoming. As we move deeper into the 21st century, the question is no longer just what the universe is made of, but how it remembers, how it evolves, and how it sings. In this volume, Relative Gravity Exploratory Notes, version 3, we shift from imagination to implementation. This is the architectural blueprint of relative gravity. It's where abstract principles take shape through mathematical modeling, system inheritance, and coherent force behaviors. With clarity and precision, RGExploratory V3 defines the frameworks of motion, torque, and phase, layered through symmetry, recursion, and relative equilibrium. It offers a toolkit for modeling particles, fields, and galaxies not as isolated constructs, but as emergent systems within a harmonic manifold. This book is written not only for theorists, but for those who want to build. It lays out the scaffolding of relative gravity's unification model, where objects, vectors, and their dimensions evolve together, shaped by inheritance and driven by force. From black hole modeling to Fibonacci impedance gradients, RGExploratory V3 demonstrates how coherence can be calculated, how structure can be coded, and how the universe itself may be read as a program of motion.